If you wanted to buy your own coffee in 2020, the simple truth is you need to understand how it's done. In today's video, we're going to be talking about green coffee and a little bit about its history and just exactly what it is. But in the continuing series that this is just starting, I'm going to be sharing with you the basics on how to be a green coffee buyer. So that's coming up. Hey everybody, what's going on? Jay here from Spro Coffee, bringing you the best tips and tools for understanding coffee, whether you're a consumer or a professional. And on this channel, we do a lot of cafe videos, tips and strategy videos, as well as practical demonstration videos like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. One of the biggest challenges facing any coffee company, coffee shop, or home consumer is, where do I get my next coffee? As a coffee buyer, I have to think ahead to make sure our clients, our cafe, and in turn you get the coffee when you need it. While a lot of our coffee is bought from producers who we know and love, it's not really the most practical solution for everyone or for all situations. For that, we turn to coffee importers. These are people and companies whose mission is to source coffees to fit the various needs of many different coffee companies, from the very large commercial roasters all the way down to the small artisanal guy sitting in a converted garage. So if you're just starting out and have modest needs, I really encourage you to consider buying your coffee from a coffee importer. Just what is this coffee? This is Coffea Arabica, or more commonly known as Arabica. What is Coffea Arabica? It's a species of Coffea, a genus of flowering plants in the family Rubiaceae. Coffea species are shrubs or small trees native to tropical and southern Africa, as well as tropical Asia. It is the seeds of these species that are used to flavor beverages and products and contain a large amount of caffeine. The plant ranks as one of the world's most valuable and widely traded commodity crops and is an important export of countries in Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean and Africa. There are over 120 species of Coffea, but two of the most popular are the Coffea Arabica, which is what this is here. This accounts for 60 to 80% of the world's total coffee production, as well as Coffea canephora, which is also known as Robusta, that accounts for the majority of the rest of the production in the world. But for this series of videos, we're going to be focusing mainly on the Coffea Arabica varietals. Arabica coffee was found in Yemen and first documented by Arab scholars in the 12th century, nearly 900 years ago. Spreading from Sufi monasteries in Yemen, coffee spread to Mecca, and by the 16th century had reached the rest of the Middle East, South India, Persia, Turkey, and North Africa. From there, it spread to the Balkans, Italy, Europe, across to Southeast Asia, and eventually the Americas. But perhaps the most interesting coffee history is the 9th century accounting of the Ethiopian goat herder named Kaldi. It was Kaldi who noticed the effect the bright red berries had on his flock of goats that he had to try it for himself. So excited by his discovery, Kaldi rushed back to share his treasure with the monks at the nearby monastery. These monks chastised Kaldi for such madness and threw the coffee beans into the fire, which then created smoke and an aroma that enchanted the monks, causing them to gather up the burned beans, grind them, and steep them in hot water. Of course, it took 800 years for this accounting to be written down, so your mileage may vary. The wild Arabica plants grow between 9 to 12 meters in height and takes about 7 years to mature fully. Cultivated mainly between 13 to 1500 meters, but certain areas produce at sea level and up to 2800 meters. The plants can tolerate low temperatures but not frost, and performs best when the average temperatures range between 15 to 24 Celsius. Each tree can produce anywhere from half a kilo to 5 kilos of dried beans. The two major methods of processing coffee are natural and washed. In the natural method, ripe coffee cherries are spread out to dry in the sun until the internal moisture reaches about 11%. Then the dried hull is mechanically removed, exposing the coffee bean. Washed coffee is produced by mechanically removing the outer hull after harvest. The exposed coffee seeds are placed in a water bath to promote fermentation, which removes the fruity mucilage covering the bean. After fermentation, the seeds are dried to a moisture content of about 11% and then are ready for export. For this series on green coffee buying, I'll be sharing with you how we go about selecting coffees for production. For the next video, I've ordered up a sample of green coffee from a US-based coffee importer. I chose this coffee based solely on the descriptions provided by the importer. This Central American coffee boasts a medium body, flavor notes of cinnamon, red currant, cranberry, hibiscus, and brown sugar, all while using a new process called tenmico. Green coffee is really a fascinating subject for me, so if you want to follow along and be notified when the new videos come out, be sure to subscribe and then hit that bell. In the upcoming videos, we're going to be fully evaluating this coffee and then deciding if it's a coffee we're interested in purchasing. Once the coffee arrives, we're going to grade the coffee. by measuring and evaluating multiple variables. After that, we're going to roast the sample. In the fourth video, we're going to talk about how to taste the coffee for evaluation, as well as understanding the SCA cupping sheet. Then we're going to cup and score the coffees. And then finally, in the sixth video, we're going to review all the data and make a determination on whether or not we're going to buy the coffee. I'll provide the coffee information down below in case you want to order up some samples for yourself to follow along. So here's the question of the day. What is your green coffee buying plan for the rest of 2020? Drop your answers in the comment section below. And of course, you can find all of our information on our own website, sprocoffee.com. And yeah, see you next time.